and I'm excited to hopefully teach you guys a bunch of stuff that you'll use, or at least pretend to use while you're on this call.
Yeah. Originally, we were supposed to typically with the big events, there is some kind of major tech rollout. This year, that obviously didn't happen. So we just want to recap kind of what's new lately, and just to press that the stability is our focus for 2021. So we are hoping everything what's there is improved. And I know Josh had mentioned in Family Reunion, we're going to slow down on the rollouts. So it doesn't mean we're not making improvements and we're not adding new things. It's just not going to come at us as fast. Just because we can too many people are in command now, which is a good thing, to be able to roll these out and have bugs. So that's the main focus. So we just want to quickly recap what's new. So
absolutely, yeah, we're just going to kind of go over the stuff that's kind of been released that you might find interesting. At any point, if you have any questions, please feel free to jump in. I'll do my best to watch the chat, but sometimes I'm not good at that multitasking nonsense stuff. But we'll go ahead and I'll start sharing my screen and we'll kind of jump into this thing. This is always the scariest part. Can everyone see my screen?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. I'm always afraid I'm going to share the wrong thing. So we're going to talk about a couple of quick things here, and we're going to try to have a little Q&A at the end. So if you have any really hard, difficult questions, just wait until after this Zoom to ask me. See what I did there? See, I won't be on the Zoom, and then you can ask me. But anyways, I digress. So one of the first things that kind of quickly came out a couple weeks ago was the ability for you to actually build your own magazine within Command. What's really cool about that is it already has some pre-filled content, right? It's always great when you can build anything yourself, right? But a lot of it is, I don't have time to generate that content, Josh. I don't have time to do this, right? I'm selling real estate, man. Do I look like a marketing person? Do I look like someone? If I could write a magazine, don't you think I'd be writing magazines? Well, the cool thing is that the marketing department at KWRI has built a magazine that comes with some pre-filled content. It has 2-3 articles already laid out that you can just kind of add your content around. So the way we're going to do that, we're going to log into Command, and then over on the left-hand side, and I always point this out, and I'm always going to point this out in every Command class I ever teach. If you already know this, I don't care, because I didn't know it for like a month, and then it blew my mind. If you click the little red KW in the upper left-hand corner, it actually tells you the names of all the applets. I was struggling, like, where is this? So I like to read. I know it's weird for my generation to like to read, but we do. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to jump into designs. And to create a new campaign, it's going to be under the print design. So we're going to click the little plus sign in the lower right-hand corner. And we're going to select print. And then we're going to click next. So we're going to let this load, and we're going to pray that designs works for me a little bit today. And then we can obviously see initially, we're going to see all the various different print design templates that have been provided by KWRI. Obviously, if you're in designs and you've ever been in here before, they have these templates broke down into different sections. You can actually sort by what's in each section. To locate the magazine we're going to talk about is actually going to be under lead generation, and it's going to be called personally branded zine. Like it kind of ran off here a little bit, but we'll click on this and you can see zine as in Z-I-N-E, because we're pretty hip here at the Keller Williams design team, right? It's not a magazine, it's a zine. It's like you don't do it for Instagram, you do it for the gram, people. We're doing it for the gram. So you can see that we have one magazine here. So they are going to continuously add additional magazines every quarter. So they're never going to remove a magazine from what I understand. So you'll always have previous content. But if we want to create and start to customize a magazine, it's going to be pretty simple. We're going to click use. This is going to function just like if you've ever customized a listing presentation within Command. So if you've ever done the listing or the buyer print presentations, right, it's going to function the same exact way. We can see all the available pages on the left-hand side. We can see whatever page we currently have selected over here. if down here at the bottom, we have the pages option that we can click to see what pages have been included. Here you can see I haven't included any pages whatsoever. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select the cover and I'm going to hit the plus sign. And what that's going to do, it's going to add the page here. So you can see it's actually built here. I don't know why this one keeps spinning. So generally once I have a page in here, I'm just going to delete that out. So now see, we're living the dream. We have our cover. Now, what's great about this is 90, or I'd probably say 85% of this magazine is editable. So we can adjust it. If we want to change the title, we can. It doesn't have to be New Beginnings. It can be, you know, COVID 2020 Part 2 is what 2021 seems to be like. But we can kind of go through and we can start to edit it. And just like anything else, we're going to double click in there and we can start to change the text. So here I'm going to type in my name. I prefer to go by Joshua. It's biblical. I mean, everyone always introduces me as Josh, but it's fine. I prefer Joshua for those out there. And then we're going to type. Then we're going to type, if I could spell it right. You know, you guys should be happy because I've actually finally gotten to the point where now when someone asks me where I work, I say Keller Williams and not Coldwell Banker. Being there for 15 years, it's hard to like break that train of thought. And then just like anything else, once we click on say an image, it's going to take us over to our assets. And if we have previously uploaded our DBA, we can click the little replace logo. And we can drag it up. And this functions just like Canva to a point where we can move it around. It's going to try to give us the line indicator so we can see that it's parallel to certain things, and we can drop it in. And now if we want to, let's minimize this page here so we can kind of see the whole thing. We can zoom in on it just to make sure if there's anything else we want to change, right? Perfect, that's the cover, simple enough. You can change the cover image if you want. I highly recommend you don't, just because all of these are vetted. We're allowed to use these. You know, you can print these. You can use these images on any other marketing. This has all been cleared by KWRI, so we actually own these images for marketing purposes. And then we want to go ahead and add the second page. So now we can go scroll through here. We can click the plus sign, and now we've added the second page. Now, I want to be very clear with this. When you're adding these pages, you really want to pay attention because a lot of stuff is customizable, right? Go through this with a fine-tooth comb, and before you even think of sending this out to a customer, or even heaven forbid having it printed, get multiple eyes on it to make sure that you have filled in and changed everything. So for instance, if we want to come here, we want to adjust this, a note from, we can click in here, we can say Joshua. Or this can be from your team. This can be from whatever it is you want to identify. Simple enough, clicking on the picture, coming over to my ugly mug and swapping it in. Look at my crooked smile. Look at that. It's terrible. I need like plastic surgery. But anyways, we can kind of go through here and you can notice we can change every little bit. Now, I'm not going to go through and customize every page here, because there's some things I want to kind of show you as we get further into it, but I just want to always point out, make sure you're going through and you're reading everything before you send it or print it, right? It's always a good rule of thumb. So you can see I've swapped in the image. I want to go back to the template so I can see my additional pages, and I could add a year in review if I wanted. If not, I can skip to the next page. Now, this is a great opportunity for me to point out one of the key things within designs that I always, always, always recommend. Up here, update your title. So that way we know what the design is when we're looking at that giant list of all the designs we've built within Command. So let's just say I'm going to name this New Magazine, right? And then the other thing I'm always going to recommend to everyone, if you're ever working in designs, as you make changes to things, as you're building out your magazine, it never hurts you to always every now and then go up to File and click Save. There is the auto save option, and as you're building and changing things, it'll save it. But I'm kind of one of those people, I like to be extra precautious, right? So let's always make sure we're hitting the save. I see that little saved thing and I feel pretty good about myself that heaven forbid my computer crashes, I lose power, aliens come and abduct me. That magazine is still going to be available for someone else to finish. So now we're going to get to the next section here. This is real estate resolution. So when we add this, we're adding another page. This is the first article that has been included within designs, right? They're within the magazine. So you're going to notice some of this stuff we cannot edit. So the actual articles themselves, we cannot change any of the words. And that's because generally all these articles were created by the marketing people, KWRI, you know, it's been vetted, you know, all those good things but generally probably the truth is people don't want you guys messing with their hard work, right? Like they wrote these articles, they're proud of these articles. So you can only change certain things. Now, what I want to point out within the articles though, you're going to notice these brackets down here. We'll try to zoom in a little bit more here and get as close as we can. My dog's bothering me, I apologize. Go lay down, Chloe, go. So you can notice that within the article though, we have the ability to customize certain things. So here is a section where you can find a wide assortment of LED lights at, and this could be a great opportunity for you to insert the name of a local business, right? To drive traffic to maybe a website that you order lights from all the time. One of the most powerful things within this magazine and what they've created the ability for you to do is to spotlight vendors and businesses that you work with. And if you were to go through the trouble, especially of printing this out and sending this to a printer, one of the things you could potentially do is find agreements with local vendors that you're working with, local businesses, and you can even sell some of these spots in your magazine, right? If you're going to have 500, 600, 700 magazines printed, you could maybe offset some of that cost by going to local partners, right? And having them advertise within your magazine. Just kind of a thought. So I just kind of want to point that out. So here we can kind of quickly go through. If we click pages, right, we're seeing that we're still building the magazine out. I'm going to go and I'm going to add the second page. You know, and once again, there's different sections here where you can update and add different vendors, whatever it is, makes the most sense to you. We're going to continue to add the fourth page and so on, right? We have, especially if we're going to include the articles, we always want to make sure we're adding all the pages of the article, right? So we can kind of go through all of that. They have a page here for your featured listing. So here we could actually go through and update and include listings as well. So what's really nice about this, if we add this, we can take advantage of the KWLS. So we can come over here, we can do a search, and I always search for the city that I live in. And I always try to find, I always pick this listing. Actually, I always pick this listing because I find it to be the most hilarious thing. Because it is probably the ugliest house, but they paid all that money for the Twilight photo, right? That's all the rage. So if we select this picture here, we can come over here, click the little replace image, and look how they have made that picture look like this is an amazing house. I love that. And as anything, when we're customizing stuff utilizing the KWLS, we can take advantage of that data feed that we have across all MLSs across the country, right? So if we click listing detail, for instance, I can click on the North Loop. I can locate the address over here. Instead of having to type it in, I can just click the replace function and I can drag out and expand that. And if I don't want it to have the zip code in there, I can just delete it. I can just have it say this, right? Whatever I want to do. Same with information within any section here. You can go through and you can start to swap where it is appropriate. And make sure that you, in fact, update your contact information. And once we make a change, we're always going to go to File. We're going to save. Always like to see that saved option. Just makes me feel good about what I'm doing. So as we kind of go through, we can see there's all the different pages. We can really start to build success stories, all these good things, more articles, just constant stuff. Right? So definitely take advantage of it. Look at each page, see which one you want to utilize. And that's kind of the quick down and dirty of customizing the magazine. So now one of the questions you may come across is like, well, that's cool, Josh. What do I do with it once I have it? What do I just download it? Do I email it? What do I do? Well, there's a couple things you can do. You can definitely download it in a high quality format, reach out to a local print partner or even an online printing partner and have them print the magazine. Inevitably, we are looking into having the ability to print this magazine from within Command. So that's something we're working with vendors on trying to accomplish. We're not there yet. But then if you're like, okay, that's cool. I really don't want to print it anyways. Print's dead, right? It's all about the digital world. So what else can I do with this? Well, you can download it, right? And you can save it as a PDF and you can include that as an attachment. Well, then you can be like, well, that's cool too, Josh. Is there any other options? I either print it or I download it and email it out that way. Well, one of the neat things you can do within Designs is if you go to the share option here and you click not this design, we want this project. If we click this project tab, this actually gives us a little link that will show us where we can email it, and it kind of is like a digital slideshow of the magazine. So if you don't want to include this as a PDF attachment that someone has to download, right? You want to have it all web-based. You want to maybe have a button within your newsletter that you've built within Command, and you want to link to your magazine, or say you want to advertise it on your InstaFace or your Facegram. You can take all of that and you can link that. So watch what happens when I copy this. And then hopefully you can still see my screen. And I just checked this out. This is what your consumer will see. Hopefully you guys are still seeing this. Yay, nay, no.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. So it's just that simple. They can go through and they can slideshow through. Oh my, look at it. It's a crooked, it's terrible. As we go through, they can kind of go through, right? So on.
Did you send this to email or is this on Facebook or where'd you go?
So this is just a link that is automatically generated. You can then take this link and post it to Facebook. You can then take this link and include it in an email. And we got to this link by going to share after we've made sure we've saved the design, right? Share.
Yeah, gotcha.
This project tab and then copy and paste that, right? So that's pretty cool, right?
Download just the first page, the cover, and put it in an email campaign, and you can actually make that photo the hyperlink or the button to go in that, so it would look even prettier.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, and now one of the questions sometimes I've gotten when we kind of walk through this is cool, Josh, but can I make it look like a magazine, right? Well, there are some services out there that if you're willing to pay for it, you can upload the PDF and it will actually look like a magazine. So to give you an idea, I did this earlier today in preparation. So I'll just jump to a magazine I kind of already built a little bit to give you an idea. So here's a company called Flip HTML5. Now this magazine is free. I can do this for free, but if you notice it has like ads that pop up and things like that because it's free, right? Nothing's really free. But if you pay for it, and there's other ones out there that you can actually see, it'll open up and it'll flip like a magazine. And this would work just like it would on a mobile phone as well. So you can kind of go through and you can flip. So if you're looking for more of that feel, that would be where you download the PDF and then you can turn around and upload that. And if that's something you're interested in, I can definitely send Rachel a couple links and she can kind of help you guys on individual basis, turn around and sign up for those if you're willing to pay for a little bit. To give it more of a digital magazine feel versus the slideshow within the WeBrand viewer here. Any questions about magazines? I mean, that's kind of where we're at. I mean, we're going to move on to kind of the next subject here. Is there any questions at all? Everyone happy? Everyone okay with that?
Yeah, are they going to eventually make it so that you can just send it to all your contacts in Command?
So inevitably what you could do is, since this is designed for print, you can already do that, so to speak, by utilizing the WeBrand viewer alone with zero cost, right? So if we wanted to do that, and we can kind of maybe walk through that a little bit, we have this link, right? And we got this link from here. If we go ahead and I'm just going to copy it, and I'm just going to copy that link, and I'm going to paste it into something so I can reference it later. So as of right now, I'm pasting it into a Word doc on my computer just so I can reference it later. If I go ahead and I click done, we have a couple different avenues we can do it. We could literally go through and we could create a smart plan, for instance, right? And within this smart plan, we could create a new one. We could say, call this magazine list, right? I'm not creative, so don't judge me. Within here, we can start our steps, and it could be as simple as send an email, check out my new magazine, and we can grab that link. Here we could put in some text, right? Like I don't want to get too creative, but we could say, hey, and use the merge tags, right? Contact first name here. So that way it would insert, Josh, Joe, Smith, Susie, Sally, whatever it is. Check out my new magazine. Call me, please. I need to sell real estate to eat. Whatever the call to action is, whatever makes the most sense to you. Pity has always worked for me in the past. And here Grammarly's letting me know that I misspelled checkout. Thank you, Grammarly. Here we can do a hyperlink. This is our link target. And we can say, click here for magazine. And we can add this link. So now with this smart plan, we add people to it and they will immediately get this email. It'll not immediately, depending on when you add it, but within a day, these contacts will then start to receive this email. Now, this is a real basic email, right? You could doll it up a little bit. You could go into designs and then design an email and then have that be a button link and all those good things. You absolutely could do all of that. But that is just a quick and down and dirty, easy way. Utilize a smart plan and you can send this link out to all your clients. Does that kind of make sense? Does that answer your question a little bit, Lori?
It does. And then I have one more while we're at it. On the beginning,
3-question limit, Lori. There's a 3-question limit, so use them wisely.
You're in trouble, man. Okay, so.
Oh, you went muted. What do you got? You muted on us.
Sorry, it says winter edition. Well, I don't want to send out a winter edition in, the end of February.
Well,
can you change that?
You can change that, absolutely. So you should be able to go through and edit most everything. The only thing you can't edit is the articles themselves.
What if it's on the front cover was where it looked like it might not be able to change?
I think you should be able to. So let me go ahead. Let's jump back into that. Oh, whoops. I want to discard changes here. And I will say part of this is they rushed this out just to try to get this done before winter was over. They are on a better cadence where we're going to see the magazine kind of appear before the start of that next quarter. So there'll be more time for you guys to print whatever it is you want to do. So if we jump into the new magazine, I was pretty sure you could edit all of it. So if we click over here, you should be able to type in not winter. And then let's minimize this. And then where else did you see winter edition? Was that it? Like here.
Okay, for some reason I thought at the very, very top, I thought there was a little banner, but maybe it wasn't on the first page. No, okay, well that's cool. At least I know that you can change that. Okay, thank you.
Absolutely, no worries. And that's kind of one of the other things I want to mention as well. Even if you don't want to take advantage of the magazine itself, if you were feeling squirrely enough and you wanted to copy and paste the articles out of here just to generate content in a custom newsletter, you're more than welcome to do that. This content is created for you guys as Keller Williams agents to utilize in any way possible to generate business. So that's kind of the down and dirty of the magazines. Any last questions before we jump on to the next couple updates we're going to try to cram in here in the next 30 minutes?
Yes, I have a quick question. This is very, very helpful information. Can you tell me why in designs, I saw it with the magazine, I also see it in other things that I go to design, like the titles of the articles look okay in the left-hand side, but on the page itself, then you're going to have to expand the box to get all of the, why does it do that when it's a article title, that we're not changing?
Why is the sky blue? No, I'm just kidding. No. So what I would say is, what I've always, I'll be honest, that's the first time I've actually seen it today when I was prepping for this class. So I'm not going to gloss over it.
All the time, like the listing presentations like that.
Okay.
A lot of the designs are like that. It's like, if you put the font in there, why doesn't it maintain it when you then pull it up to make any edits to it?
To be honest, I don't have an answer to that, but what I can tell you is in preparation for this class today, I actually started creating a ticket to try to find out why that is. Okay, so I can definitely tell you that that's not an intention. That's not something that they're wanting to have done. So I'm gonna submit a ticket and we're gonna see if we can't get an answer and have that fixed going forward.
That'd be great, because it seems like it happens a lot, and then it just takes more time for us to have to make all those edits.
Well, we're just trying to teach you how to use the program, Tina. Right? I mean, like, if you gotta like get in there and get your hands dirty, right?
Right. Well, there's sometimes when your boss doesn't want it to take that long.
The problem with bosses, man.
I'm an admin, and he wants it done fast. He doesn't want.
Bosses are the worst. They're the worst. No, if your boss is on here, I'm just kidding.
But
Perfect.
They want it done.
Right.
I mean, because they sell it as, it's going to take you 5 minutes to do it. Well, then you spend 5 minutes just making the fixes before then you make it your own.
I mean, what I would say is it's 5 minutes to actually do it until you fix it, right? I mean, it's how we measure time. No, that is a great point, and it's one of those things that like I said, I'm going to submit a ticket on it. And as you guys come across, definitely, if you have feedback when you come across weird little things like that, definitely get them to Rachel and she can get them to me and we can evaluate. And one of the things that I really am passionate about with this role that I have as your RTT is to be that person that kind of takes your issues to KWRI. And this actually gives me a great opportunity. Every month, the region sends out a newsletter. We just most recently sent one out. I don't know if you guys get it or if you don't read it or whatever it is. Please start to read it, because I'm starting to include a slide in there that basically is going to list 3 different ideas that we have posted as a region on ideas.kw.com. And if you would take 45 seconds, it will take 45 seconds to vote yes on each of those ideas. One of the things that'll help me is if all of a sudden we can get 3,000-4,000 votes on a single idea, I can then use that as leverage when I go to KWRI and say, hey, here's what my region wants. They even took their time to vote on the stupid thing. Can we make this happen? So just please do me a solid and help me help you, help me help you. Jerry
Will
McGuire.
do. Thank you.
No worries. All right. So the next thing we're going to kind of quickly jump into is Twilio updates. There was updates with Twilio. I don't know how many of you are using Twilio to send text messages via smart plans. Probably everybody. It's just it's an amazing thing, right? Now, one of the things that they finally updated and they set up was the ability for us to set up call forwarding on your Twilio number, right? Previously, it could text out, but if your customer called that number, it just rang and rang and rang and rang. Now we have that ability to change that and have that forward to a cell number. So to do that, very easy, very simple. When we're within command, we're going to go in the upper right hand corner. We're going to go to settings. And then from the integration screen, all the applications, we're going to scroll down. Well, I don't know what that's about. Oh, it's because my .leave account isn't working. We're going to scroll down and we're going to locate Twilio down here. It's going to be somewhere in your list. We're going to click manage. And up here, we have the ability to enable call forwarding. And then once you do that, you'll be able to plug in. This is my cell phone number, which I should probably change. So no one don't write it down and never call me, please. But this will give you the ability, if someone were to call your Twilio number, it will in fact call your cell. This does not mean you'll get your Twilio text to your cell phone number. This is just for voice calls. But I want to be very clear about this. For the call forwarding, be cautious with how you use this, because you will be billed 3 Twilio credits for every minute you're on the phone with a customer. So you wouldn't want to do this and then send this to your ISA who's going to be spending 30 minutes on the phone with a customer getting their information. When you get this call, it's highly recommended that you tell the customer, say, hey, can I get your number? Hey, can I call you right back? I'm on my work number and or my work phone, and I want to call you on my cell. The call that the number comes from will always be the customer's number. So if Susie calls my Twilio number, the caller ID on my phone will show Susie's number. So it's just it's as simple as verifying that number, hanging up, and then just calling them back directly from your cell. So you're not eating up your Twilio credits. Not that 3 credits per minute is terrible. It's honestly, I think it boils down to like half a penny-ish per minute, but it can easily get out of hand if you're spending 30, 40 minutes on that phone call. When you get the number, or when the call comes in, you will get kind of like a collect call message. That's how you will be able to identify that it is a Twilio number or Twilio call. It'll basically say, hey, this is Twilio from your command integration, something like that. And then it'll just dump you in. As of right now, you don't have to press 1. You don't have to do anything like that. It just connects you. So just be aware that that's how you can identify it. And I just don't want you to eat up all your Twilio credits. If for some reason you're using Twilio as a team and you're like, well, what if we want multiple people to be able to answer the phone, Josh? What do we do? One of the workarounds we have why you can't designate multiple phone numbers within this integration, you could sign up for a Google Voice number, a free Google Voice number, have the Twilio number go to that Google Voice, and that Google Voice can then ring multiple phones. If that's something you're interested in, let Rachel know. She can help you with that. And we can kind of dig deeper into that if you want to be a little bit more advanced. Real simple, real basic, but a huge feature that I think is very, very powerful as we start to build more and more enhancements into Command to make your guys' life a little bit easier. Any questions about Twilio doing this, anything at all? Say them now, forever hold your peace.
Something that came with this update is even if you don't have the call forwarding signed up, or if you choose not to use it, if somebody does call your Twilio number, you will get a notification bell from Kelly, or if you have it, or in Command saying that this number called your Twilio number. So even if you don't have call forwarding, you will still get that notification now that somebody did try to call you.
That's a fantastic point, Rachel.
Because
Awesome.
I get it all the
Awesome.
time.
Good. All right. So I think the next thing on the list that we're going to just kind of quickly kind of point out to you guys is the offers email within opportunities, the ability to share your offer and how that works and how you can actually share multiple offers to a client. So to do that, we're going to go ahead, we're going to jump and see. That's why I got to click the little KW so I can find opportunities. It took me, I'm not going to lie, for 6 weeks, I didn't realize it was 2 hands shaking. I didn't know what it was. I was like, what is that symbol? It's 2 hands shaking. Dude's got the smallest thumb in the world though. But anyways, we're going to jump in to opportunities here. And I think I have an opportunity somewhere that I was working on. Don't make me a liar. I've lost my opportunity. Oh, you know what?
Personal opportunities.
Yeah, it's my personal. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you. That's what it is. I just got my account turned to a team account. I'm super excited. So here we can go into an opportunity. You can see Lewis Boatman. He doesn't exist. I have no siblings. I wish I did. It would have been awesome growing up with someone to play with. But I digress enough of my childhood. So if we jump in here, we can jump into offers and commissions. We're not going to go through how to create an opportunity, all that stuff. But here you can see I have 3 separate offers. Mary agent, Susie agent, Walter agent, Bobby buyer, Betty buyer. They're actually, so I have a backstory. They're getting divorced, but they're using the same agent. So lucky me, I get 2 deals out of this transaction, right? This is an amazing situation, right? So, never pick sides, people. Never pick sides. And then John buyer, you know what? There's a backstory. Bobby and John are actually brothers, but Betty's in love with John now. And that's kind of what happened. It's a whole ordeal. It's like Jerry Springer-ish, maybe. But I digress. So if we wanted to share these offers all with our listing, our seller, right? Where we're selling them, right? Whatever it is, we can select all these offers to our seller. when we select them, we're going to have this option to compare offers. Even if we were just selecting one, we don't have the ability to do that. But if we select all of them, we can compare offers. And now we can see all the offers lined up side by side. This kind of shows you the value, and I'm not sure most of you do this, but you have the ability when you're submitting an offer or creating an offer within Command, you can put in the pros and the cons, right? You can fill out all the different information, pre-approved, pre-qualified. You know, you can plug in way more information than you actually need to get paid. And this can kind of show you the value of doing just that, right? So here we can see the sales price. You can see the cash, right? And you can see where I've made notes like, hey, this is an all cash offer, no closing cost, right? There's no closing cost for this person, right? They don't need any help. But it's an extended closing date. He wants to close way, way late to pay all cash. So we can then simply email the offer comparison. It's going to send it to my seller. You have 3 offers. I can even have it send a copy to me if I want. If we want to preview what it looks like, we can click that and we can actually see the preview of what each one of the offers, right? And you can see it. There's my crooked smile. It's everywhere. It haunts me everywhere I go. I need a new headshot already. You can kind of see it all laid out, what your client's going to see, and you can send the offer. And it was successfully sent. And that happens pretty instantaneous. They should get that well within the next 10 to 15 minutes. You do also have the ability, when you want to compare them all, you can download the offer, which basically just downloads it into a file that just, it's the same layout, just all across the page. And that is what your client will also have the ability to do too. When they get that email, and if we were to go to the email offers, when they click compare offers, they just get the ability to download that email in that format where they see all the offers next to each other. It's just a really cool way for you to touch base with your clients, reach out to them, let them know, hey, we have all these offers, especially in these multiple offer situations. As you're talking to them on the phone, they can kind of jump back and forth and ask questions. And if you spend the time filling out that pros and cons in the summary section, you know, oh, they won't qualify for FHA. Oh, they, you know, need to sell before they buy. You know, you can kind of have a nice succinct list for your clients to try to make the best decision possible for them. Pretty simple, pretty basic, pretty powerful. I just feel bad for Bobby. I mean, to lose your wife to your brother, that's got to be horrendous. So I think, is there any questions regarding this? The jokes just get worse, people. If you don't start laughing, they just get worse. I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop. Is there any questions regarding offer emails? Rachel, do you have anything you'd like to add?
I just think this is a huge game changer right now, because when you have your clients, especially with the market right now, everything is multiple offer. There is like nothing that doesn't have multiple offers on it. A lot of the time the client sees dollar signs. So this could even be a good marketing piece, is saying, hey, I can put your offers side by side, give you my valued opinion. This is why you hired me. And I'm going to get you the best offer. It may not be the highest dollar amount, but it's going to be the best offer for what they need. Because again, when they see, especially with how much above market value these homes are going for, they're just going to see that dollar sign and want to run with it. And that may not actually be the best offer. So this is like the serious game changer right now with the market that we have.
Absolutely. I mean, she said it in such a more professional way than I did. I mean, why am I even here? So I think the last thing we're going to quickly just try to gloss over is some of the changes within contacts and managing contacts within Command, especially when you're a team. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to switch to my team account. And when we go into contacts, I only have a couple contacts in my team account. We'll see if he shows up here. Old Walter White, you know, Breaking Bad, anyone? Walter White, great show. If you haven't seen Breaking Bad, you should watch it. It's amazing. But, you know, you can see here, if we click on little old Wally White, we pull him up here, we have the ability, we can see who the owner of the contact is. If there's ever a moment where a team member or the Rainmaker, for instance, wants to change the ownership of a contact to another agent, right? it was a really rough process. You actually had to go through and you had to change account. You had to literally send that contact back to that person's personal account just so that way they could import it back in the team but maintain ownership. Well, now what you can do from within a contact, and keep in mind, this can only be done by the owner of the contact, and it has to be a team contact, and anyone on the team that has unlimited or enhanced. If we drop this down, we now have the ability, instead of going choose account to move the contact to someone's personal account, we can update ownership. And then here you can see I can send it to the buyer agent. I wouldn't make the team admin the owner of it, but we have the ability to update the ownership without that contact actually having to leave the team. Some of the other quick updates when it comes to contacts and teams, standard users, right, which should be the vast majority of people on a team, right? Most people have the standard permission. Generally, your Rainmaker has unlimited. Your admin may have enhanced. Or really techie, agent may have enhanced, but most people are going to have standard. One of the things you can now do, if you are the owner of a contact on a team and you're a standard agent, you can actually now assign that contact to a team member. So for instance, if we were to edit the contact, I can actually go through and I can assign that to another agent on the team without giving up ownership of that contact. And that can be extremely important because, say, maybe you brought a bunch of contacts into a team, but you're not able to work them all, but there are maybe some more junior agents on the team that are willing to work those contacts. You can assign those contacts to them so that they can update it, set up smart plans, start to work that deal, but you still maintain ownership over that contact. So if you were to then ever leave the team, you get to take that contact with you. Very, very subtle change. Affects teams more than anything for sure, right? But I think it just kind of shows as we're trying to improve the process of how you maintain and handle contacts, and you can still own your sphere even if you join a team, but still have the team help you work that sphere, if that makes sense. Any questions about the last two things we kind of just quickly ran through?
Kind of along the same lines, is there any plans to allow you to add a new contact from opportunities? When I get leads, they're ready to be an opportunity, and it's just a little bit, I know first world problem, but it's a little annoying to have to go first to the contacts, add the contact, then go to opportunity.
There's been some talk of that, honestly, and I'll be honest with you, that's actually going to be one of in the next regional newsletter for next month. I'm actually going to debut that idea for everyone to vote on. So Ashley, I'm going to count on you to make sure you read that regional newsletter and get everyone to vote for that idea. But yes, in general, that is something that they're looking to do for sure. So hopefully that helps. Any other questions for Josh on anything we've covered thus far? Perfect. We have about 10 minutes left, so I'll kind of open it up to just in general Q&A on anything command related. If there's something you want to address or hear yourself and vent to someone as close to KWRI as you're going to get at this moment, let me have it. So quiet.
I would think once command or campaigns for teams rolls out, that should resolve that issue, because the leads should generate into team command instead of your personal command. Don't quote me on that, but it should.
Well, in general, so yeah, I think what she was referring to more than anything is like when she has a contact and they're not even in there yet, and she starts the opportunity, she doesn't want to have to go to contacts first to create it, right? And hopefully that'll be something that we'll see resolved with future updates for sure. Perfect. Tina, you wanna unmute? You got something for me? I can feel it.
I did unmute. I have two things actually. One is, and I mentioned this to Rachel last week, and I don't know if she's had a chance to even look, but do you know when they're going to update the quick posts? It seems like they're old, really old.
When you kind of shuffle through,
yeah.
So that is something that we brought up, and they're looking into doing that. But the one thing I will say is they are always updating the new designs that you can easily post from within designs, right? Or even within campaigns. So say if we go to campaigns, now it's not as simple as like the quick post where they have all the verbiage and everything.
Right, that's what I'm talking about, the quick posts, because right now some of them are Halloween, or it'll mention the holidays, and I'm like, okay, it's now almost March.
Yeah, that is one of the things that we made some, we actually, as the RTTs, we kind of had a call 2 weeks ago, the week before FR, where we kind of brought that up because Rachel and some of the other MCTTs have brought that up to me. I don't have any time frame on it, but they do have more just actual graphic designs where you very well may just have to add your own verbiage, right?
Right. No, I get that.
So,
But
okay.
I mean, they just made it sound like they were going to have new quick posts once a quarter, and I haven't seen any new ones.
I mean, you know what? I mean, it can be Halloween all year round if you
I
really
suppose.
you know,
If you like
who
candy.
doesn't love jack-o'-lanterns, man?
I mean-
I love carving pumpkins. But
And
but
then-
yes, that'll be one of those things. I will try to follow up and see if I can get more of an ETA on it for sure.
Thank you. And
No
then,
worries.
do you have any landing pages created by chance?
I have one maybe. Why? Before I ask, what kind of trouble are you trying to get me into here?
I create listing landing pages,
Mhm.
and it seems like when you open them, the default person's information, somebody in Austin, Texas, it always shows their information, and it takes a little bit for our
Do
actual
you when
landing
you
page.
actually go to the landing page, like on your site?
Yes. Well, or if
Right.
I just copy the link, copy the URL into a browser
Yeah,
and
let's
do
take
it.
a look. I mean, I have one.
it
So-
always says somebody
It says
else.
Katie Bauer. Okay.
Katie Bauer.
I just saw it. Well, it's Jack Bauer's cousin,
I
right?
see.
You ever seen
Now,
24?
Yours actually loaded much more quickly than mine. Mine, usually it's like I can see the name of the property and her name and all this stuff before my actual landing page appears. And I don't know why there's a delay.
I honestly do not know either. I mean, I could speculate, but that's something I can definitely look into. I never really noticed it. So let me dig deeper into it, and I'll talk with Rachel, and we'll see if we can get you guys an update on even if they're aware of that. I'm sure they are, but I'll see if I can add that to my list of tickets that I get updates on every week and see what's going on.
I will also tell you that your web page, it does the same thing on the web page.
Okay. Yeah, I would imagine if anywhere that this branded header appears,
Right.
it's probably going to do it wherever you've added it.
Exactly.
Yep.
Thank you.
Katie Bauer is actually we're trying to turn her into the #1 realtor. So we're using all your websites to feed her all the leads. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Perfect. Any other random questions for me? Anyone? This is where I go Bueller. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Anyone Bueller? Bueller. Rachel's never seen it. She's too young.
I have.
She's too young. She's like 12. Bueller.
13,
right?
okay? 13,
Okay, that's fine.
right.
All right. Well, outside of that, Lori unmuted. This is exciting times. What do you got for me, Lori? I see you.
I unmuted. I was getting ready to leave.
Oh, okay. Well, don't let me stop you.
I'm
No,
so sorry. My dogs are barking to go out. Well, they're not barking. They're running in circles around me.
Hey, my dog's my best coworker. All right. Perfect. Well, outside of that, I want to just
Thank
take a
you.
quick moment. Thank you guys for attending this class. Hopefully you've learned something and I didn't offend you with all my corny jokes. But that's just kind of who I am. So if next time you see my name, you'll know what you're getting when you show up to one of these classes.
No, I love the magazine. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
this
no worries. Perfect. Well,
Josh,
if
and
you
Rachel.
guys need anything else, just reach out to Rachel or myself and we'll do whatever we can to help you. And I hope you have a great rest of your week.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks. It was great.
Bye.
Thank you, Josh.